So we will be on the ground for most of this class. So make sure that you're comfortable on the ground. If you've got a hard surface that your mat is on, then you're welcome to take a blanket or two and just lay it over the length of your mat so you have a little bit of extra padding. And we won't be using any props today other than blankets or pillows. But you have the option to use some, and I might mention as we go along where you can use yoga blocks or a strap if you like. So, with that being said, let's come down to our backs on the mat. You can arrange yourself on your back any way that is the most comfortable for you. So, knees can be bent, or you can straighten your legs, whatever suits you. And here, if you have a yoga strap, if you like to wrap it around your knees to help support your legs a little bit, you can. Just take the time you need to get yourself comfortable. And when you're ready, start to become aware of your surroundings. Just feeling yourself here in the room you're in. Maybe noticing the temperature of the air on your skin, and tuning into the sounds around you, and tuning into the feeling of the back of your body on the ground. And just notice all the points of contact between the back of your body and the ground. And allow your body to feel a little bit more heavy as you rest here. And now draw your attention inwards. And for a few moments, just observe, notice how you feel from the inside out. Noticing with a sense of kindness, as if you're checking in on a good friend. And now, for a few moments, observe your breath. Same thing, just notice how it is, notice how it feels without needing to change it at all. And now let's bring a little bit more awareness to the movement of our breath. Start up at your nostrils and your throat. Just notice if you can feel the movement of air. Perhaps you can sense cool air coming in through your nostrils and warmer air moving out. And then draw your attention down to your chest and your rib cage. Start to notice any sensations at your ribs as you breathe. If you like, you can bring your hands to rest on your chest so you can tune in a little bit more. See if you notice a sense of a gentle rise and fall with your inhales and exhales. And then draw your attention down to your belly. You might like to move your hands down to your belly as well to help you sense if there's any of a feeling of rising and falling in your belly as you breathe. And now for the next few rounds of breath, try to deliberately draw your inhales right down to your low belly. Even if it's just imagining that movement of breath, even if you can't feel much movement at your belly, just picture drawing your inhales right down to your low belly. And then we'll let this go. Let your arms rest wherever they are comfy. And again, bring your attention to the back of your body, noticing where your body is in contact with the ground. And you might notice, do you feel a little bit more of a sense of heaviness in your body? Does that contact between your bones and the ground feel any different? Is there any more of a sense of settledness? And today we're going to blend some of the tensegrity movements with some gentle yoga stretches and movements. And to start off with, feeling that sense of heaviness. And we'll remember that because we're going to come back to that feeling of heaviness through our trunk throughout the class. So you might notice the bones of your pelvis and your rib cage and your head, just feeling as if you have a really nice connection to ground. And then bring your arms and your legs up towards the ceiling. Maybe give them a little bit of a shake and bring them back to stillness. Keep them up for now, if that's comfortable. And so, what we're going to do for a lot of these movements is move our arms and our legs, but allow our trunk to feel nice and settled and connected to the ground. And as we move our limbs, I want to encourage you to think about your shoulder joints and your hip joints as maintaining a bit of softness. So, you might reach your arms overhead and notice where it feels like you lose that sense of softness in your shoulder joint and then let that go. Try that with maybe just one leg, reaching it really long so that it feels like you're kind of flattening your hip joint. And then come on back in with arms and legs lifted and cultivate that sense of softness in your joints. Nice. Bring a little bit of softness to the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet as well. Nice. Give it a bit of a shake. Arms and legs wiggling just a bit. And then bring your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a hug. Maybe you'd like to rock from side to side a couple of times. And then come on back to center. Place your feet back down on the ground. Bring your arms up again and just interlace your fingers. And then bring your hands around to the back of your head. And just allow your head to rest into your hands. So if you're kind of making a basket that your head can rest into. And we're going to start with just some eye movements. So your head can stay cradled by your hands. And all we're going to do is move our eyes so that they're looking as far over to the right as they can without needing to move your head. And all we're going to do is stay here, breathing nice and deeply for a few rounds of breath. And ideally, what we're trying to do here is just stay in with our eyes in this position until it feels like there's a little bit of a letting go. So sometimes you might notice a bit of a deeper breath or a sigh breath when that happens. So breathing nice and easy here. And when you are ready, gently bring your eyes back to center, maybe close them for a moment. And then we'll go the other way. Same thing. Let your head just stay right as it is. Turn just your eyes over to the left. See how far you can look to the left without moving your head. And stay right there. Still breathing nice and softly. And again, when you're ready, let this go. Relax your eyes, maybe close them for a breath or two. And gently take your hands away. Maybe you want to bring your arms up and give them a bit of a shake out. And then bring them back to center. So fingertips are reaching up towards the ceiling. Bend your elbows, hold your opposite shoulders. Let your elbows just rest on your chest. And now we're just going to rock our head from side to side. So, really nice and slowly, just letting your head roll from side to side. And the next time you come back to center, we'll stay here and release your arms. Bring them out in a T position by your sides. Turn your palms to face up towards the ceiling. And we'll do some snow angel arms here. So, first, connect with that nice sense of groundedness in your rib cage, in your pelvis, in your head. And now, when you're ready, keep that nice sense of heaviness as you trace your hands up overhead. Let your hands float up away from the ground whenever they feel like they'd like to, and then float your hands back down. Let's do that a few more times, making nice big snow angel arm shapes. And if you notice your rib cage wanting to shift around away from the ground at all, then just lift your hands up a little farther away from the ground as you make these shapes. And let's let this one go. Nice. Take a moment, just rest. You can stretch or move a little bit here if you'd like. Okay, and let's do some arm movements now. So, once again, bring your arms up, fingertips reaching up towards the ceiling. Allow your shoulder blades to settle down towards the ground. Connect with that sense of heaviness through your trunk once again. And now we'll just lift our arms up overhead, only as far as you can go without your rib cage popping up at all. And then bring your hands back to the starting place. And let's try that a few times. Can you keep a sense of softness in the palms of your hands as you go? The next time you come back up, we'll stay here. And this time, soften your elbows with your palms facing towards each other, making a shape like you're hugging a really big beach ball. And then, if you like, you can bring your right thumb and right index finger together. Same thing on the left hand. And now we're going to let our arms float out to the sides as if you're opening your wings up and then come on back up. And we'll try this movement a few times. Same thing here. Keep that nice sense of heaviness and groundedness through your trunk as you move your arms in this nice, soft, fluid way. And as you bring your hands back towards each other, pause here, turn your palms to face away from each other, and try that movement a couple more times. Nice. And then let's kind of alternate that hand position. So as you come back to center, turn your palms to face in a little bit, draw your arms out. And as you come back to center, turn your palms away from you. And one more time. Let's do that a couple times that way, just alternating as you go. Can you keep that sense of softness in your palms even as you keep that sense of heaviness through your trunk? And the next time you come back up to center, we'll let this go. Shake out your arms, bring them down to rest. Take a moment to just breathe. Nice. Bring your knees in. Give yourself a bit of a hug. You can have a little bit of a rock from side to side if you'd like. And just allow your rib cage and your pelvis to rock along with this movement. So one side of your pelvis, one side of your rib cage is lifting up as you go one way, and the other side when you go the other way. And when you come back to center, pause here. Just let go of your legs, but keep them up and lift your shins up a little bit away from the ground. And we're just going to cross one ankle over the other. Nice. And here's where, if you have a block, you can bring it between your knees and hold the block in place. That's another way of doing this, but I'm just going to show you the prop free version today. So we'll keep our legs here and bring your arms up. Bend your elbows a little bit, interlace your fingers, and position your elbows so they're a little bit narrower than shoulder distance apart. Here's another opportunity to use your block if you like. You can hold the block between your forearms and your elbows. Now we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So just rolling your arms over to the right and your legs over to the left. Nice, and go the other way. And feel that gentle sense of hugging in. So elbows hugging towards each other, knees hugging towards each other, even as you rock side to side. This time, pelvis rocking one way, ribs rocking the other way. And again, let it go when you're ready. Maybe give your arms and legs a little shake, maybe give them a little stretch, and we'll let it go. Place your feet back down on the ground. Take a moment to just take an easy breath. Okay, and now bring your arms back up again. We'll try a few more arm movements. So give them a little bit of a shake. Nice. Come on back to the same position we were in before. So your elbows are bent. Your thumb and index finger are touching each other on each hand. Nice. And this time, keep your shoulder blades down on the ground, but bring your arms a little bit up overhead. And position your hands so your fingers are lightly touching each other. And now we're going to make some big circles. So moving your hands away from each other out to the sides as if you're trying to draw a big circle. One hand doing each side of the circle. And bring your hands together again a little bit farther away from your head so that you can bring your baby fingers to touch. Nice. Let's do that. Going the other way, circling around to the sides and back in so that the thumb side of your hand is coming closer to touching. And do that a few times. Nice fluid movement. Can you keep that sense of softness in the palms of your hands, maybe even the soles of your feet? Noticing if you've been bracing there and see if you can Bring in a little bit more of a sense of softness as you go. And we'll let this one go as well. Nice. Okay. And we'll do a few more arm movements, but this time we'll do them with our hands together. So just bring your palms together. So all of your fingers are touching, right thumb to left thumb, right index finger to left finger, and so on. And then turn your hand so that it feels like your middle finger and the center of your hand are kind of parallel to the ground. Nice. Okay, and from here, what we're going to try to do is trace that center line of our hands up and down as if we're keeping it parallel to the ground. So, trying as much as you can to keep that position as you draw your hands up overhead a little bit and down away from your head. And see if you can keep your palms together the whole way. See how far you can go while you keep that shape in your hands. And we're looking for the same quality of movement. So you've got a nice, settled, heavy quality to your trunk. Your shoulder blades are staying on the ground. It's just your arms moving. It doesn't matter if it's a small range of movement, just see what feels appropriate for your arms and your shoulders and your wrists. And then bring your hands back to what feels like a kind of center position. And this time we're going to turn our fingers to face up towards the ceiling, but keep our palms together and straighten your arms just a little bit more. They're not totally straight, there's still a bit of a bend. They're a little more straight than before. And now we're going to make a nice big arcing movement as you bring your hands a little more overhead and then point them down a little closer to your knees. And keep going, same thing. Looking for a position where you are connected to ground through your trunk, through your shoulder blades. Try not to arch around your back as you go. Just soften, stay in an easeful range of motion. And then we'll let this one go. Give everything a shake or a stretch or a little bit of each. It's up to you. Nice. All right. Bring your knees in again. Give yourself a hug. Have a bit of a rock from side to side. Come on back to center. Let's do that little twist again. So, crossing ankle over ankle, interlacing your fingers. Find a position where it feels like knees and elbows are gently hugging into each other as if you were holding yoga blocks between knees and between elbows. And then rock your arms and your rib cage to the right, legs and your pelvis to the left, and go side to side. Does not have to be a big movement, just see what works for your body today. And then come on back to center. Nice. All right, let's roll all the way over to our side now. Lovely. Okay, take the top arm, reach it up towards the ceiling. Nice. And again, bring your thumb and your index finger together. And just reach your arm up towards the ceiling. And then try to plug your arm bone into your shoulder socket. Nice. Then find kind of a middle point between those two where there's a bit of a quality of reaching up, but still a sense of arm bone connected to shoulder socket. Nice. Now maybe just imagine that you've got a floating balloon in your fingers here and start to make some little circles. Nice and slow, as if you're bringing that balloon along with you. You might like to do those circles a couple times in the other direction. And then let it go. Bring your arm down, and this time bring the bottom arm and the top arm out in front and place your palms on top of each other. Nice. And we're going to do kind of that snow angel arm movement with the top arm. So, with those fingertips on the ground, just slide your arm up overhead. See how far it wants to go comfortably, and then bring it back down. And option one is to just stay with that movement, just lifting your fingers or tracing your fingers up overhead and coming back down. Option two is to bring them up so high that you can roll your rib cage open so your chest is opening towards the ceiling. Bring your arm all the way over, finding a nice twist here, and then trace your fingers all the way back. Nice. Your hand can be up away from the ground the whole way if you like as well. Just a nice, smooth, fluid movement. Does not have to be anything specific here. Just check that you're being kind to your shoulder and your back as you move. Do whatever version of this works for you. And then next time you come back to palms together, stay here. And let's roll all the way over to our belly. And once you've made your way onto your belly, just take a moment to feel the front of your body on the ground. You can come back to your belly breathing here if you like. Just imagine you could send your breath into your low belly and see if you could feel that sense of expansion through your rib cage and your belly as you inhale. Let's try a little back bend here. So place your hands on the ground, close to the sides of your ribs. Roll your shoulders up and back as if you're trying to pull your shoulder blades down towards your heels. See if you can picture lengthening through your spine. Draw your tailbone down towards your heels. At the same time, draw the crown of your head forward. And from there, lift your head and your chest up away from the ground. And then come back down. And we're just going to lift and lower a few times. Just go at your own pace. Only lift as high as you can while still feeling like you can press your tailbone down towards your heels. And the next time you come back down towards the ground, stay here. Relax your arms, relax your head. Take a breath. If you like, you can rock your hips from side to side a few times. Okay, and let's roll all the way over to the other side. I'm just gonna switch sides so I can still face towards you. Once you found your way onto your side, we'll start with our little arm circles. So reaching your arm up a little bit, plugging into shoulder socket and finding that midway point between those two, and then start your circles. Slowly drawing your balloon along with you. Going the other way a couple of times. And then let it go. Bring both arms out in front of you, palms on top of each other, and start your half snow angel arms. Again, you can come up just a little bit overhead, or you can circle your arm all the way over, opening up into a twist. Try this a few times. And when you're ready, we'll let this one go. And we're ready for our resting pose. So take a minute to just get yourself comfy. You can lay on your belly, you can lay on your back or your side, or you're welcome to come up to a seated position as well. Just take any shape that is the most comfortable for you. And while you get set up, I will turn the lights down here in the room. And when you have found a comfortable position, take a moment to notice how you feel here. And make any little adjustments that you need to feel a bit more comfortable. And when you're ready, come on back to your breath, taking a few nice deep belly breaths again. Settling into the position that you've chosen. And take these next few minutes to let go on purpose. Just allowing any kind of effort, any kind of doing at all to float away, giving yourself permission to do absolutely nothing but relax and rest. And this time, roll all the way over onto your back again. Okay, once you're on your back, bring your arms and your legs up again, shake them out. Nice. Okay, bring your arms down and bring one leg down so that your foot is on the ground and your knee is bent. The other leg's going to stay up. And here we're just going to move this one leg that is up and down a few times. But try to do it with that same nice quality of heaviness through your trunk, softness in the sole of your foot, lowering down a little bit and coming back up. Keep your knee a little bit bent. Imagine that sense of softness in the sole of your foot. I think you could make the bottom of your foot expand a little bit as you soften. And a nice soft fluid quality to this movement. So we're not looking for an ab exercise here. We're just looking for some gentle, easy movement. As if you were a seaweed under the ocean. And let's switch sides. Let's do that with the other leg. Again, softening the sole of your foot if you find that there's any sense of bracing there. Notice if there's any bracing anywhere else in your body. You may feel like in your jaw or your belly. Could be anywhere. See if you can soften. And then bring this leg back down too. Nice. Take a moment, move or stretch. Okay. So this time, bring both legs up towards the ceiling. Your arms can stay wherever they are comfy. And now we're going to move our legs in a bit of a scissor motion. But first, find that sense of heaviness through your trunk. Bring a bit of softness to the back of your knees and the soles of your feet. And then draw your right leg closer to your head and move your left leg away. And then slowly switch. Try this one a few times. Same thing. Where's your easeful range of motion here? How far can you go without your spine wanting to arch or round or shift side to side? All right, come on back to the starting place. Legs still up. Bring your arms up now. And now we're going to do the same motion with our arms going along with our legs. So, right arm and leg closer to your head, left arm and leg away, and switch. And keep going. Still feeling as if your trunk is nice and heavy, as if you have some strong roots running from the back of your body down to the ground, as if your limbs are like long grass just blowing in the breeze. And you can stick with this movement or you can change it up a little bit. When you come into your scissor shape, keep your legs where they are, switch your arms, and then keep going. So your arms and your legs are going in the opposite way. As left leg comes closer to you, right arm does, and keep going. All right, to let this go, bring your knees in, have a little hug, have a bit of a rock from side to side. Nice. And once you're back to center, let's do our little twist here again, crossing ankle over ankle, interlacing your fingers, imagining you have those blocks between knees or elbows, or actually using them if you've got some handy. And start to rock side to side, rib cage and pelvis going in opposite directions. Nice. Come on back to center. Bring your knees in towards your chest again. And this time, just bring your big toes to touch. Place your hands lightly on your knees. And we'll do some nice big circles here. So move your knees away from each other out to the sides and then circle them away from you, around and back together, and then back in towards your belly. And keep circling a few times. You can do those circles in the other way if you like. First, moving them away from your belly and then out to the side. And then let it go. Bring everything back down to resting on the ground for a moment. Now let's do a few more movements through legs and hips. So bring one leg up towards the ceiling. And let's just point and flex our foot a few times, pointing your toes up towards the ceiling, flexing, drawing your toes down. Try that a couple of times. Nice, circling your ankle a couple of times. Go the other way a couple of times. Nice. And then let your foot relax. Soften the sole of your foot. Let's just do some nice circles with our whole leg, just like we did with our arm when we were laying on our side. You could try that one a few times the other direction as well. And then bring your leg back to center, still keeping it up. Let's try some rotations here. So rest your hands on your hip bones. Think about just rotating this upper leg bone in your hip socket, rotating the whole leg in and out, and try that a few times. And the next time you come into external rotation with your toes pointing out, stay right there. Bend your knee, cross your ankle over the other knee, rearrange that other leg if you need to so that that feels fairly comfortable. And then you can choose. You could stay right as you are, or you can pick up the other leg and hold on to the sides or the back of your thigh. And here's where if you have a yoga strap or a belt, you can wrap it around the back of your leg and hold on so that you can reach a little bit better. Let's take a few breaths right here. And then slowly unravel. Bring both feet back down to the ground. Nice. Between the sides of those movements, let's walk our feet a little farther away from us, a little wider apart, and then just windshield wiper your knees side to side a few times. And so here you can allow your pelvis to move, to come along with this movement. See if you can keep your rib cage gently connected to the ground as you go, though. Nice. Come on back to center. Walk your feet into a more comfy position. And let's do all those movements on the other leg that we just did. So bring the other leg up. Start by pointing and flexing your foot. And do a few circles. Nice. Let that go. Soften the bottom of your foot. And circle the whole leg a few times. Go the other way a couple of times if you haven't already. And when you are ready to let this one go, bring your leg back to the center. Let's try our rotations on this side. I like to rest my hands on my hip bones so that I can notice as I rotate this leg if my pelvis wants to move. And if you find that, then make your rotations a bit smaller so that you can keep your nice, solid, quiet quality in your trunk as you move your leg. And again, pause in external rotation. Bend your knee, cross your ankle over the other knee. And then you can either stay right here or you could pick up the other leg and maybe hold on with your hands or with a strap. Stay here for a few breaths. Okay, let's let this one go. Softly unravel your leg. Nice. Have a moment, move or stretch. And come on back in. Let's bring knees in towards our chest again. Have another little hug here. Nice. Okay, keep your knees up. You might like to not interlace, cross ankle over ankle on your legs. Let your arms come up by your sides in that T position again. And now we're just gonna let our knees rock over to one side and softly go over the other way. And try this one a few times. So the back of your body does not need to stay connected to the ground here. Just explore moving your knees side to side. And then come on back to center. Let it go. Place arms and legs back down on the ground, whichever way is the most comfy. All right. And now bring your legs up once again. And if you like, you can give your legs a nice little shake, just cultivating a little bit of softness in your legs. Bringing them back to stillness again. Soft knees, soft feet. Your arms can rest on the ground to start with, but we'll bring them into this movement in a minute. So bring your big toes to touch. Your legs are mostly straight. Get a little bit of a bend in your knees here. And this time we're going to let our feet and our legs move away from center, away from each other, and then float back in towards each other. And let's try that a couple of times. Same thing, nice sense of grounding through your head, your rib cage, your pelvis. And then you can stay with just the leg movement if you like, or you can bring your arms into this movement now. So if you want to, you can bring your arms up, keep a little bend in your elbows, but bring your right fingertips to touch your left fingertips like this. And now, as you move your legs out to the side, we're going to move our arms out as well. And as you bring everything back in, bring your big toes back to touch, bring your fingertips back to touch, and keep going a few times. Nice, soft hands, soft feet, nice fluid movement. As if you're really slowly swimming underwater. This would be an awkward way to swim, but it's a nice visual for some smooth movement. Okay, and again, we can stay with this movement or you can change it up. This time, keep your fingers together as you move your legs out to the side. And then as you start to bring your legs back in, allow your arms to move out. And then we'll keep going. Arms and legs going in opposite directions. And bring everything back in. Give your knees a little hug. Have a bit of a rock again from side to side. Okay, just let everything go. Come back to resting. Okay, let's try one more twisty movement here again. So we'll set ourselves up just like we were before. Legs are lifted up, knees are bent, cross ankle over ankle. Have your arms out by your sides in a T position. And then again, let your knees rock over to one side. And here, if it's comfortable to do so, you can bring your knees all the way down to the ground. Nice. So your other arm might lift off the ground a bit, and that's fine. And then lift yourself back up, and let's go the other way. Just rocking your knees all the way over, side to side. And this is only if this is reasonably comfortable for your body, for your spine. If it's too much, then stay where we were before. And one more option as you bring your knees over to the side. That arm that is back behind you, you can make a bit of a snow angel shape, tracing it up overhead, bringing it all the way around so you can place your palm on top of the other palm. So you're coming to lay on your side. Nice. Okay, do the opposite. Bring your arm all the way up overhead to bring it back to the starting place. And then bring your knees back to center. Let's go the other way. So this is a big, big movement. You can stay with one of the other options that we did earlier if you prefer. If you want a nice, big, twisty movement, then maybe you'd like this one. And the next time you come over to resting on one side, we'll stay here. And then make your way onto your belly once again. So start off again, rest. Let your arms rest, let your head rest. Breathing into your belly, just noticing how the front of your body feels on the ground. And let's do a couple little back bends to finish off today. So, same thing as before. Bring your palms to the ground by your sides. Roll your shoulders up and back. Add some length to your spine, reaching down towards your feet and up beyond the top of your head. And then lift and lower a few times. The next time you come back down, you can let this go for a moment and stretch your arms out by your side. So your fingertips are reaching down towards your feet. Now let's do that again. This time, reach your arms back as you lift and lift and lower a couple more times. Another option here, if you like, when you lift your head and chest and arms, is you can lift your legs as well. So choose your own adventure and just a few more times. Let's let it go. Rest your head, rest your arms. Breathe easy.